always been trying to tell me something. Make her yours forever. And I'm working on the forever part. It's about quite a lot of different things. I mean, in a lot of ways it's to do with how people that deal with the later stages of grief, and how it affects a family dynamic, and also how, I mean, I think a lot of a lot of the central part of the story is about how Ali and Tyler's relationship, and I think a lot of that is to do with people not so much just being attracted to each other, but knowing each other, and how important that is to actually find someone who you can really know, and that's sort of, you know, what's nice about their relationship. I don't know, it's been interesting. It's nice. It's the first time I played a normal guy as well. Every single part I've ever done has either been something period or something supernatural, and Tyler's really, he's a young guy who's just kind of a little bit lost in the most obvious way of looking at it, but he has very wealthy parents, and he's kind of very self-righteous, but a bit of a waster. I mean, he has that attitude which a lot of 21-year-old guys have, where they think they know better than everyone else, but don't feel the need to prove it in any way whatsoever. And he eventually meets this girl who shows him, in a roundabout kind of way, how to live and just how to mature, basically. I think that's kind of what my character's story is. Well, I guess all the hoopla of the Twilight series, and it's going in, you know, when there's a load of people watching, like audiences in the street and stuff, expecting this big spectacle to happen, and it's a tiny little drama. So that was quite funny, but I've never spent this much time in New York either, so it's been interesting. It's really great that we get to shoot in a lot of the actual places, like in Don Hills and in loads of it in NYU and stuff. No, it's really nice, and it's kind of, it does, you kind of a little, just you do get inspired by a lot of things you just see in the street and stuff. So it was really great. I mean also just having the crowds is it kind of adds a bit of intensity to stuff in a funny sort of way. It's really nice. I mean, I literally went straight from New Moon and flew straight here to start this, but I'd been talking to Alan and Jenny Lamette and Nick Osborne for quite a while about when we were developing the script and stuff. So I felt quite more ready than if I'd just come straight here. What I first liked about it is this little tiny parts of the script, and also like the way Tyler spoke. I had a voice, it was kind of immediately, and I met Alan and Nick, and I really liked them. It was just something about the kind of the flow of the script felt really. It just seemed, it sounds bad, but it seemed really easy, and it's which is, I mean, it didn't end up being easy, but I mean, there's something felt I had just, for whatever reason, had a big connection with it, and felt that I could do it and do something with it. There's quite a few big emotional moments, but there's nothing really in the story that, I mean, no one gets shot in front of you or something. There's never like a big thing which you can really react to, but at the same time there has to be these moments of kind of hysteria, like when I confront my dad. But it was quite difficult because, I mean, these are all grudges and grievances which he's held for years and years, and they've all just been not even simmering, but they're just old. They're old grudges, and they've had the same fights before, and everyone else sees them as being old, and even he's sick of having the same rages. Tyler is, and so it's strange. I mean, that scene with Charles, my dad, I mean, I wanted that to be just that sort of typical thing when you're young, you're having an argument with your parents, and you get so hysterical and out of control when you're talking to them, and immediately afterwards you're like, I can't even remember what I was arguing about. And at the time it means so much, and then you're just sort of you feel so kind of like impotent afterwards because it didn't mean anything at all, and you're like, well, I really don't mean anything. Even when I'm furious, it means nothing, and it's quite difficult to get the right tone for that. I think that's probably the hardest thing. Yeah, I think the good thing about Alan, we just sort of let it go wherever it wanted to go. I mean, I think it's ended up being a movie which neither of us knew we were going to make, and hopefully that will be interesting at the end of the day. But I mean, he's so open with how a scene plays out, which was great for this, because I mean, I had no idea what I was doing for the majority of the time, and so just, I don't know, hopefully it's really worked out. I mean, because every time I talked to him in pre-production, we were always really, really on the same page. When we got to the shoot, I mean, I guess the best thing to do would be just to sort of just observe stuff and see really what happens, which is what he did, and I think it worked out really well.